Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Slayer: The Legend of Heroes. In the last part we reached Gila, which as we learned is Giles' hometown, and now that Big Giles is elsewhere we can go around and explore more parts of Mortavia as a region.
Aren't you little Giles? It's me, Fraser. We used to play together as kids.
Fat Fraser? Boy, you're as ugly as ever. And don't call me Little Giles.
You'll always be little Giles to me. So, how have you been?
Shut up. I should be asking the questions around here.
Geez, shame old Giles, huh? You know what? Remember Koratov? He's Prime Minister. What a joke. All of Mortavia's going to the dogs and old boy Koratov sits behind a desk. Little Giles, I need your opinion. Sleep Mist is a popular where you've been. I'm selling it, but no one wants the stuff.
Weird, but I guess we got a friend in high places now.
I saw a gold card on sale at the Thieves Bazaar. I thought I'd scored big time, so I ran home to get money. That's a dumb move because when I got back, Fraser had already sold it.
We've heard about that before, haven't we? Guess we should look around to see if anyone has it. So while we're here in Gilon, as I mentioned last time, you can get the gem equipment here, which as I mentioned, is very strong equipment. But if it gets hit by a fire elemental attack, it just completely shatters and you will be practically naked. I am gonna be buying a set of it for everyone though, as its defenses for the rest of this chapter are worth it and there's not too many fire users, if any, in this chapter to worry about. The big thing is, it's extraordinarily expensive. In fact, most things are here. In fact, I think this is the only town in the game you can't sell anything at. You can buy warp coals and warp wings, but that's about it. So, we have money right now, about 200,000. That's not gonna be enough to get all the things I want, because I want, I think 3 of each, because we found 1 of each back in the Wolf Jaw. In case we didn't, you still want to have everyone on a full set of this stuff for the rest of this chapter. But as you can see, it's pretty pricey. I can get close to a full set for somebody, but we have a lot of money grinding to do if I want to get one for everyone. And I also want to grind more money here because, for reasons we'll get into, grinding money in the chapter after this is a little harder to do. So if I want to afford the armor next chapter as well, I need to go a little above and beyond with what I'm going to be grinding to. So my end goal is close to level 40, if not at level 40, and about 400,000 to 500,000 gold. Overkill, yes, maybe. It doesn't exactly make the game easier, just given how enemies can just decide, nah, you're gonna die, or at least wear me down over time, rather. But if you're trying to have more difficulty curves throughout the rest of this chapter, I would recommend maybe stopping at like level 36, and then just going from there. And here we got a new enemy. These are Deformers. I don't think they have any super special attacks of their own, but they can hit you twice in a single turn because they have 2 heads. So, technically interesting because they can attack twice, but because the damage they do, even without the gem armor, isn't too spectacular, it's not a lot to write home about. And right around this curve is Carcass, and as you can see, since I used the spy scope last time, we can now see every enemy on the world map, which is pretty handy. Now look at that, another town where you can't use the shop at first. Big surprise. At least they're consistent with it. So our goals here are to talk to 3 particular NPCs, 2 of which are in this house over here. I've been sleeping too well lately. Mood.
My son suffered from insomnia. I'm tired out myself. He's keeping the town awake with the ruckus he makes at night.
So we technically only need to talk to Lazybones right now, but Janice, we've had her name drop before in a prior town, so we're going to want to talk to her for more stuff down the line. Our main goal here is to talk to Koratov. I'm just talking to basically everyone else to hopefully trigger any event flags that they might be tied to. They don't usually tie a lot of event flags to the generic NPCs. Usually it's like the unique ones or the sages or the leaders of the town. Like, I don't even think you need to talk to Sergeant Murphy before you head out to Sordis or anything like that.
My name is Koratov. I'm Prime Minister of all Mortavia.
Don't you recognize me? It's your old pal Giles.
Giles? What a pleasant surprise. Look at me now, I'm a real, genuine Prime Minister.
Yeah, I heard. Way to go, buddy.
Thanks, but the job is really stressful. The whole country is gripped in terror because many young maidens are missing. We think it's the work of Gaius the Ugly.
We've traced his movements to the tower just north of here and are preparing shock troops for a raid. Mind if we join your little party? No can do. We don't want a bunch of civilians in there. Okay, well, lie low for a while. Come on, gang. Maybe we should go back to Gilon. Thank God we have Warp 2 at this point, so the backtracking's nowhere near as annoying. Ugh. While we're here in Gilon, though, there's a couple people we want to talk to. Namely, want to go to talk to Fraser real quick.
Remember Koratov? He's Prime Minister. What a joke. All Mortavia's going to the dogs, and old Koratov sits behind a disc.
But more importantly... No kidding. Say, Fraser, you ever see a gold card around?
The gold card? I made tons of money off that sale. And from the looks of the sucker who bought it, I'd say he's from Carcass. Little Giles, I need your opinion. Sleep mist is popular where you've been. I still have some, but no one wants this stuff.
Ah, a guy I met back in Carcass was suffering from insomnia. How about scoring me some of that mist? I'll take it to him.
Here, grab this. I can't sell it anyway.
So now we can take that back to the Sleepy Bones and progress some plot on top of having known where the gold card is. Even though no one's here at the moment. Ooh. Is this sleep mist? I'll try some and see if it puts me to sleep. Ugh, this is gross, but I think it's working. Man, I wish sleep aids worked that quickly on me. It takes like 3 hours. I feel great. The body does need rest, huh? And that gives us a free inn for this town. And I think that also triggers Janice's dialogue changing, but we'll check back in with her later because we have some other flags to hit. For instance, let's talk to Koratov again. Glad you see things my way, Giles. I heard news of a boy prince playing hero by saving kingdoms with beast problems. No sapling is gonna show me up. Sure, buddy, and the water is green. I guess it is in some areas, but oh well. So, this is a weird moment for the game because they want you to actually go to the tower and just enter it to trigger some flags. And it's the only time the game makes you really do something like this outright. They usually want you to enter a dungeon only when they tell you to, so it's kind of weird. By the way, we got 2 new enemies here, Spikers and Snout Pigs. Spikers aren't a lot to write home about. I think they have some notable spells. What sucks about Snout Pigs is that they have an attack that can inflict a high-level venom skill on you that can kill you within, I think, 2 to 3 turns, if not 1. So if you have the Detoxin spell still around, you might want to take advantage of that. Otherwise, these enemies are just extraordinarily tanky. And part of the reason I use the spy scope at this part of the game is just to kind of avoid fighting a lot of the enemies in the field, because at this point, anything they could give you that's useful is either purchasable somewhere else or very rare drops. Like, I actually may have been wrong last part now that I think about it, about which enemy drops the Lantern item. It's either the blue fire wraiths or the Cyclops enemies around here. I cannot quite remember, but that's the kind of rare stuff that would be useful from fighting battles. Honestly, you can finish this game around level 36 to 38, I'd say. Might be a little stressful at times, but it's doable. The big thing is whether or not you have the money to get a lot of good equipment at that point, which is probably the more limiting factor at that point anyway. Gotta love Cure 5. 2500 HP, sure, it costs a lot of MP, but that much HP is worth it. Alright, here's the tower. We've entered it. We can now leave and go elsewhere. But I do want to come in here and fight one of the enemies. Just to show it off, I guess. Because in here we got goblins. They have physical attacks. That's about it. Similarly to the gremlins and the... I've forgotten the name of the other enemy that's in a tower. Not a lot to write home about. They're just here more or less to fill out the area. With that, though, since we've now hit this tower, a flag is triggered back at Gilon, so we can head back there to progress the plot. Kinda wish Warp 2 could work in some dungeons like that, but oh well. And like all the other times we've been here, we need to talk to Fraser.
Little Giles! Big Giles was injured in a battle. You'd better go and check it out.
Thank you, Macho Man Randy Fraser. And it actually took me a little bit to find Giles on my first playthrough. He's in the free inn in this town, so he's all the way up here.
What took you? Big Giles came back up from near Arcadia. Giles, we were ambushed on the way to Sordis. The beast is almost indestructible. We gave it all we had, but nothing worked. Finally, we got reeled out and had to back off, but Micah was missing.
Way to go, Gramps. Now I'll have to clean up your mess. Prince, it must have been that Gaius thing from the tower. We better check with the Prime Minister. Alright, sounds good to me. I guess we're heading back to Carcass. Once again, this entire game's latter half is just the forward and back song from Final Fantasy XIV. Oh god, hi there.
You victim. Now I take shiny gold card. Look, more victims. I smell jewels of doom. Attack!
Rude and sudden, but okay. We got a Doom Spectre here, technically a mini-boss, even though it's overall just a normal enemy. Power 4 up Giles, and then go straight into Calm to prevent it from using any of its spells, and then just hammer it on in. It's got 2,000 HP, but its defenses aren't anything super spectacular. The main reason you're going to want to use power is just to make the fight all that much faster. That's it. Decent XP and gold, though. By the Seeker, you saved me from being a Spectre's lunch. Those beasts play rough. They wanted the Jewels of Doom. None of this makes sense. I bought a gold card in Gilon, and almost right away I was ambushed by those Doom Specters. They were gonna rip me up, so I forked it over. My life is far more important than a dumb gold card. My luck you came by. But unfortunately, the Doom Spectre that left took it with him, so we don't have it. You fighters are the best. Shame you couldn't have been with Koratov when he left with the troops for the tower. Oh, he's already left. We should probably check in on that soon. But now let's talk to Janice.
And our legends passed down from old. Once upon a time, the immortals dwelt in the land, sharing order and light. But not all beings like order, and from nature sprang the darkest horde. The leader of the horde was filled with chaos and fire. Naja was the name. The immortals fought against Naja. There was despair and misery in the land. But after many vicious battles, the immortals had the victory and mankind was saved. Good has always been pitted against chaos, and it is no different now. Take heed. The horde may return one day, and Naja too. Thank you for the beautiful story, Janice.
What are the immortals, you might ask? I don't know. Could be more gods with like the Seeker that used to be more of a pantheon. From what I know about the synopsis of the second game, I have a decent guess at what they could be, but I'll save that for if there's ever a fan translation or official release of Legend of Heroes 2 in English, because then I can just cover it there instead. Still, we should probably not fire Koratov, follow Koratov to the tower. It's always the tight spaces you need to watch out for enemies the most, and just because they can get so grouped up together. Oh, well, there they are.
You minister, my victim now. Give me shiny gold card.
Rave on, Spectre Breath. It's Koratov. We have to rescue him right away.
More victims. Wait, the fools who fight against Naja. Gaius warned us. Jewels of Doom are for me. Attack.
And another Doom Spectre. I would technically edit this out because it's a repeat fight, but it is, I guess, technically a boss fight, so might as well keep it in. Something I'm not too sure about with this game stat-wise, by the way, is where like your attack power can max up by using Power 4 over and over again. There's got to be a point where diminishing returns take effect, so at that point you might only want to do like 4 Power 4s, then Calm in fights like this, but at the end of the day, it's not too bad all the same. Giles, you came just in the nick of time. But wait a minute, who are your friends who fight so well? Hi, Prime Minister, I'm Ethan from Norland. I'm Sonia from Firelane. I watch over the boys. And I'm Logan from Firelane. Logan, that name rings a bell. Aren't you on a quest obliterating fiends and beasts? Well, kinda like. I'm Firelane's Crown Prince. I should have asked for your help sooner, before all the big trouble started. Now many people have been hurt for nothing. What would you say to marching to Carcass with us? Yeah, you betcha. All this kidnapping must be the work of Gaius. No living thing is as cruel as he is because he lives on his victim's flesh. I know this because he ambushed me near the tower. When I attacked, my sword just passed through him. It was like fighting a phantom. I figured the real Gaius is hiding in the tower because when I searched, I was stopped short by steel doors. And behind those doors I could feel a strange presence. Would you be willing to join us on another search? Actually, we can probably handle this ourselves. Yes, no need for you to get involved, Mr. Prime Minister. Let me sleep on it. And whatever happens, make sure you get some rest too. Wait, I remember. The gold card popped out in that fight with the Doom Specters. It'll probably help in the tower. Those Spectres wanted it bad enough. And now we got ourselves the gold card, and you might remember last part that someone was talking about that back in Acadia. So let's go take it over to him and see if he has any reaction. Maybe he could help us find out what we can use it for. Ah, there he is, little Mr. Indiana Jones in the corner. The gold card. Where's the gold card? Do you mean this gold card? Eureka! Oh, sweet day, the card is back. Now I can continue my archaeological research. Mortavia has some sweet digs, let me tell you. I'm gonna get on up to the Tower of Crystal and discover its origins. You better stay away from there, the tower's evil. Evil Schmeevil. That is a crucial site for my thesis. The gold card has some connection to the mysteries in the tower, and I'll leave no stone unturned to figure it out. Then why don't we check the place out together? Sweet, I got my tools ready. Let's go. Move in! And well, you're once again locked into an automatic movement chain that can't even get interrupted by those particular enemies. Or we can get interrupted by these ones. These guys are no match for me. Only Colin does nothing in the fight against the Night Shields. Night Shields are interesting enemies in that they're kind of tanky and they got some decent defense, but they have just a straight up chance to deflect your physical damage back at yourself. I don't remember if it does equivalent damage or if it does reduced depending on your own defenses, but watch out for it all the same. Might be more worth using magical attacks on these guys because of that, I suppose. They also got some pretty decent evasion to consider, but that could just be because my luck stats aren't as high as they could be. Gee, you look tough. Only it's more Night Shield, so not really. Hold it. There's a terminal. Eureka! This card is like a key. Just put it in the slot. Good guess, huh? Let's go in there. Well, that's weirdly futuristic compared to everything else. Whoa, how sweet it is, old books. This ancient script is difficult, but my specialty is reading old languages. Look, the pages are so dog-eared, but very interesting. It says, "Welcome to Tower Aquarium." Great writing, huh? What's an aquarium? Maybe water things, but there's more. Ride the light elevator to the 5th floor. The future is now. No more waiting in line. Immediate anti-gravity service. This old language is so strange. I wonder if there's any other clues around. Here. This one's an operating manual. Light elevator. Let me see. It talks about the control unit running on high frequency. Just press the side and it emits a tone that kicks in light elevator. Control unit? Elevator? Yeah, you got me, old man. This archaeology's hard work, not for posers. Sweet. Here's a picture of the control unit. Chrome cylinder. Big deal, it's only a silver pipe. Dogtooth Gallery. It has another elevator. This gets more and more fascinating every minute. I love this job.
Are you okay, old man? Come on, lay back for a minute while I take care of that thing. All right, big and ugly. Let's see you chew on this. What the?
Nice try, man-child. I just love it when someone falls for that image-casting trick. If you really wish to face me, you'll have to make your way to the top floor of this crystal tower where you'll find the real me. But since the control unit for the tower's elevator is currently in my hands here on the top floor, you won't be able to face me, unless you can fly, of course. Let me put it another way. The situation is hopeless. Now return to the high and mighty minister and tell him I'll be coming after his hide soon.
Can you stand, old fella?
Yes, I don't know if this will help, but I've got a warp quill in my pouch.
So that's the trick. I needed the control unit to get in. Do you think guys will hand it over if we ask nicely? Not likely. Anyone have a better idea? The kite! Isaac's kite! never gain altitude to hit the top. Oh, yeah, dumb idea. That manual said Dogtooth has an elevator too. Dogtooth. Cylinder, silver pipe. Eureka! The Silverhorn in Wolfjaw. Dogtooth, Wolfjaw. Dogtooth is in Wolfjaw. The Silverhorn is the pipe. What do you know about Wolfjaw? There's a gallery hidden in the caverns there. It's an old ruin from the past. Sweet digging, but closed off now. I know. Big Giles manages it. You know Big Giles? I first explored it as a boy with him. But my days living in Gilon are through. I left there years ago. It's my father! Daddy, don't you recognize your own son? Sweet, you grew up to be quite a scrapper boy. When did you leave Gilon? I didn't want to be no lowlife, so I ran from Gramps' gang. I only just saw him again, holding a princess for ransom. He made me go to Wolfjaw to search for treasures. He never shuts up. I found the horn for him, but you know Gramps and his mind games. He expected me to stay and be the next bandit king. That old swine. His prized possession is the silver horn. When I was still knee-high to a grasshopper, he snuck off to hide the loot he'd stolen. He was digging in Wolfjaw and found the ancient gallery. Inside was that silver horn, a relic from the distant past. He was jumping for joy with the sweet find and wanted to protect it from other thieves, so he set traps in Wolfjaw to foil grave robbers. After seeing those ruins, I decided to study archaeology. Now, this gold card is a key for doors in the tower. You insert it in slots at those terminals and doors will open. Crush Gaius, rip him to shreds. Alright, so now we need to go to Wolfjaw. So something I'm not entirely certain of, because I just never actually have checked about it, is that, like they said back in the tower, there's another elevator outside the tower. I'm not sure if that's gotten into in the sequel, or if you use the Silver Horn when we get it again in Wolfjaw, if you get taken somewhere else. So I guess if you're playing along, probably a good time to check that. Thankfully, we can teleport into Wolfjaw with Warp 2, and we could just walk straight from here because the doors kept the states they were in. So, not only can we get the Silver Horn again, but now that we're here and have Warp 1 on someone, or at least a Warp Quill if you have one still in your inventory, we can actually grab the treasure chest that Giles marked as "Please ignore this" from when we were here as Giles. Not that it's entirely worth it, but you might as well. Because in here, like I mentioned, if you grab this chest, the door closes. You can place the sword back in the chest and the door will open on this visit. It wasn't back when you were just Giles. But we can just warp out of here and take that gold sword for selling mostly, because the gold sword at this point has already been outclassed. It's very expensive though, so that's the main reason you might want to have it. And from Carcass, we want to head back to the tower once again. If there's anything that using the spy scope or a telelens really indicates though, enemy spawns tend to come from off screen and try to move diagonally in most cases, which is why you might have your best luck if you try to move diagonally yourself in avoiding encounters. It won't always work, but they also only seem to try to keep like 4 spawned in at a time. Now that we have the gold card, we can investigate that terminal, open these doors down here, and access more parts of this area. We want to head upstairs a couple times, and there's another terminal. Darn it, Dad lied to us about the gold card. It doesn't work on that door for some reason. But we can come upstairs, and there's a window we can jump down, weirdly similar to certain other games, and that brings us here. Hi, Princess Micah.
Prince Logan, I just knew you'd come.
Come on, Princess. Let's get out of here.
But how? The door doesn't open from this side.
Let me have a look at the door. Gracious, there isn't even a card slot on this side.
There's got to be a way out.
Ha! We got you! Knew you be coming! Me very cunning! Master Naja will be proud!
How do you guys like Doom Specters? You've already fought 2, you want to fight a 3rd one? No? Well, too bad, you gotta anyway. If there's any consolation, at this point you might have better equipment if you didn't get all the stuff I got earlier. So you might find this one to be easier, but they're already not too big of a problem to begin with, so The The level curve in this game is a little weird, though, because you can beat your game in your late 30s to early 40s, but I think the levels go all the way up to 99, so that's kind of overkill. Oh, crap! Marcus! The gang's all here, huh? Good to see you made it so far.
What's going on? Why are you with Isaac and Daniel?
No reason, really. I met an old adventurer who told me about a gleaming tower, and I decided to come and check it out with Marcus. Yeah, and when we were in Sawdust Kingdom, we hooked up with Batman Isaac. He's a real high flyer. He even let us take his kite for a spin. Ain't he the coolest?
Good to see you all again.
Does the tower shine because of diamonds or gold, or... Which rock did you crawl out from, buddy? It shines because of the sunbeams bouncing off of it.
Didn't I tell you? How many times did I tell you?
What a waste of my time. Ain't nothing we can do about it. Perhaps a friend would lend us the kite so we can burn up the sky one more time?
Ace plan, Marcus. Let's do it up big time. Hold your horses. I haven't said yes yet.
These guys are a waste of skin. Why don't we do them a favor and let them escort the princess home? Yes, we need to hunt down Gaius. Hey guys, this lady is Princess Micah of Sawdust Kingdom. Would you escort the princess back to Castle Havelock?
Princess Micah? It's such an honor.
Thank you, Isaac. I've heard of your great inventions. Count on me. With a warp wing, I can cruise anywhere. What do you say, guys? We gotta move if this is gonna work, you know. Party's all here. I'm feeling a little stressed out, what with everyone following me and all. Well, Marcus, she's all yours. We've got a fiend to hunt. No worries. You left her in the hands of an expert. Ready to go, your royalness? Get me out of this hole. I want a bath. You mind your P's and Q's. Got it, Marcus? Yeah, I got it. But practice what you preach, eh?
Don't worry, Giles. I'll keep my eyes on the boy.
Let's go to Sawdust. Good luck, Prince Logan. I like that those three show back up again. It actually is kind of a thing that the Trails games would later do later in the series too, and it's kind of a neat detail. Either way, we're already pretty much at the boss fight. We just need to come up to the top floor and, like Colin says, use the silver horn to warp on up.
I think we found Gaius, or at least his body. That's strange. He looks like he's in some kind of trance.
Be wary, he might be faking.
Yeah, but if he's not, this is as good a time as any to put an end to his threat.
You should have looked quicker, children. I'm at my most vulnerable when I communicate with Master Naja in this manner. I trust you have the Jewels of Doom in your possession?
What is it with you and your obsession for the jewels?
You mean you don't know? Well, in that case, I'll have to take care of you before you find out.
Alright, so Gaius is arguably one of the hardest bosses in the game because we got two of him to deal with. The one we need to kill at the end of the battle is the one sleeping on the left. The one on the right is just going to consistently cast very powerful magic that can do between 400 to 600 damage, I'd say, on average. Whenever you get the one on the left down to half health, though, the one on the right heals him back up to full. And if you wake him up, he'll start being invulnerable to physical attacks and do a lot of damage really quickly. Our main goal here is to get as many buff spells on someone like Giles and his debuff spells like Leech on the main body as you can. Then either mute the one on the right or use Calm to prevent it from doing anything, period. If you get the left one woken up and it becomes invulnerable, you can still hit it, but you need to use attack magic for that, and hopefully you have one of those on everyone. In fact, I think I still do at this point, just for this fight alone. But as you can see, with my strat, he dies pretty quick.
This is not possible! Me, Geist the Magnificent, bested by a handful of humans! The jewels, the doomsday device, total destruction! Master Naja will avenge me!
Well, that's foreboding. But we at least get a gem rod that I'll never use. I actually don't even remember what spell that does when you use it. And Mortavia is liberated from the vile stench of Gaius. We get a healthy chunk of experience for that fight. Outlaws Chapter 5 comes to a close, and thus begins the finale Dragonfire.
I must be too old or something. Gaius wasted me big time.
You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
Would you just shut up and listen? It wasn't my fault it became abandoned, you know. When I was young, I used to play in Wolfjaw. One day, I stumbled upon some old scrolls that told of Naja's existence.
What? You knew about Naja all along?
And what about you? Didn't you know?
Just his name. Tell us what you know.
Sure, but listen good. Naja is full of chaos and lies. He's a huge, huge blue dragon. Fire and destruction are what he eats for breakfast. He's very, very powerful. He destroyed ancient civilization and plans on destroying East Renassa too. If people find out he's real, they'll panic and riot in the streets. I didn't tell anyone else because I'd wanted to take him out. But I need money, and the easiest way to get it is to steal. Now I love being a thief. It's real exciting. But that darn Colin is too prim and proper. He didn't want to help out here, so he just up and left.
You've cleared a lot of things up for me, but...
No buts about it. I want you to be a weapons expert.
Why, so I can toast Naja?
Of course that's the reason, but it won't be that easy. The beasts you've met up until now are nothing compared to Naja. The sword blaze is the weapon to use against his awesome defenses.
The sword blaze? Where's that?
If I knew that, there wouldn't be a problem, idiot.
Don't get smart with me, old man. Cut it out, you two. You act like a couple of babies. I don't want nothing to do with this old tramp. I'm with Sonia. Why don't you quit the bickering? Well, we are in this together.
Let's get on with it then. Sword Blaze is probably in the Jaggery Pit. That's in Mortavia's prison outlands. But even if it ain't there, you may find clues.
What are we waiting for?
I expect a lot out of you, young Giles. I want you to crush Naja's life. Tear him limb from limb. If you succeed, then I might even start to respect you.
You gutless pig. I should tear you limb from limb.
Cool it, hothead. This arguing will get you nowhere. You have to take the next ship out of Port Moore. I sent Rocco on ahead. He's going over to meet his buddy who's due out today. That'll be in Fort Wind, Korotov's armory post. The only way in and out of the outland area is through that fort. Criminals are deported out there and serve a term of labor, in Jaggery Pit mostly.
You talk too much, Gramps, but we'll go anyway.
Hold on a second. That Silverhorn is all I've got.
Okay, take it back, you big baby. Okay.
What's keeping you? Moving or you missed my boat.
So I guess we're on towards the end game finally. Sort of. There's more than one video left. The end game's a little longer than you might think based on the rest of this game's pacing. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 10, we head on off towards the last notable portion of the game's continents. See you guys then.